By the way, I also have another book on Anand, which is this Vishy Anand Chess Super Talent. It's a book that has been written before 1995, or at least around 1995, when Anand had his match with Garry Kasparov. This book was just printed before that match, just a little before. So the author doesn't know how that match will go. And that's kind of very interesting. The funny thing is this book was sold for like $20 and I think I got it for $1, because obviously it's kind of old, right? Vishy Anand should have a better book, a collection of his games, maybe 64 like Fischer, or 60 memorable games, or 100 games by Anand. He should have a good collection, because he has been a world champion for a long time. He also has created all these new grandmasters in India, right? Thanks to him. In any case, the game I want to show you is this Anand Master from the Lloyd Banks Masters, played in London 1985. This was the fourth game in which Anand beat a grandmaster. So Anand is white and he plays e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and g6. This move is interesting. Why? Because obviously you guys, if you know the theory of the Sicilian up to move 20, great. But if you don't, let me speak for a second, because here obviously it's not commented, because this is a book probably written by grandmaster for grandmasters and so on and so forth. So at this point the problem is this, right? Where do you develop this thing, this bishop? If you move this and develop here, only one square, right? But look how beautiful is this move, g6, because this g6, now there is still a fight for d4. So that's why I say it's beautiful, it's interesting as a move, it's an idea that we should keep in mind. Bishop e3, bishop g7. Of course, this is the dragon Sicilian, so it's not that I'm telling you something new, but for me it was interesting as a move. So why it's a dragon? Because I think this pawn formation seems like a dragon, if I remember well. That was a possible explanation. Now another move that is interesting from white perspective, f3. Why f3? Because it doesn't want this to go here and take his bishop. So we are clearly in modern chess, where the bishop pair is very, very important. Castle, queen d2, because the problem is this, right? You want to play bishop h6 and eventually start an attack. Knight c6 and g4. Here it says the 15-year-old Indian takes on Mestel's favorite dragon variation of the Sicilian defense by playing the ultra-sharp Yugoslav attack. Even age 15, Anand was not afraid of a challenge. So after g4, black played bishop e6. White castle queenside, bishop e5. Here there is an attack to this, but you need to remove a defender. h4, the attack starts immediately. And here there is bishop c4. Here it says Mestel wants the c4 square for his knight. So e4 tries to remove the white bishop on f1. Of course, now white cannot play bishop takes e4, okay? Because if he does that, obviously he gives black a great advantage. And so he cannot exchange that bishop. What does he do? He plays bishop h3. And now a very interesting move by black is this, bishop a6. Why it's interesting? Because he wants to play this. Okay, so how does white stop that knight c4? He plays b3. But playing b3, it means that you have given black something, right? A kind of weakening of your castle. So black plays queen a5, king b1, and queen a3. This is kind of interesting because imagine where he's going with this. He's trying to say that he will get rid of this. This will move and he will be able to give a checkmate there. So that's kind of interesting, right? Okay. So what does white play here? White continue with this plan, which is g5, because he obviously needs to dismantle the fourth line of defense, after which he will attack, right? Knight h5, very good move because it blocks this from being pushed. f4, knight c6, bishop g4, and knight b4. Bishop takes g5, h5, and g take h5. And now there is another beautiful move, but however maybe gives an advantage to black. What is? It's knight f5. And here it says Mestel may have indeed intended bishop takes c3, queen takes e3, queen takes a2, and then rook c1. But here black has no satisfactory response to the threat of knight h6 and queen g7 mate. Yeah. But, okay. So let's see what happens. So rook f e8, knight takes g7, king takes g7, queen d4, check, e5, and now queen takes d6, rook ac8 because he's trying to eliminate the defender, so can take and take checkmate. Queen f6 check, king g8. And now there is rook d7, rook f8, and now there is the final move of the game. If you want, guys, try to pause and see what would you play. Here white played g6. So why after this move Messel resign? Because after h takes g6 and rook g1, the threat is rook takes g6, right? And then the game is over. Because if you also play this, in reality is even worse, because he plays queen takes g6 and then king h8, queen g7, checkmate. So as you can see, it's a little problematic, the situation, right? I don't know. Let's say he plays this, rook takes c3. Unfortunately, and this is the end. So I hope that you enjoyed this book. So why this game was important? It was important because it was the fourth game Anand played against the Grandmaster and he won. I thank you for watching and see you next time.